Good evening and welcome to episode 20 of the podcast Going Forward. Tonight brings us to a venue that not many people like to play at in terms of it was always a tough game. It brings us down to Frickley to have a good old chat with their manager Tom Claisse, talk about his non-league journey. Luckily for me, I've shared a dressing room with him as well, so it was great to play with Tom up at Stocksbridge for a short time. But yeah, without further ado, Mr. Tom Claisse. Thanks for joining us, Tom.
Good to be here, lads. Good to be here.
We've got you pinned down, mate, from your pre-season duties, mate, because it's never ending, is it? So,
no, I thought to players not here. It's crazy, isn't it?
It's absolutely crappy.
People did warn me. Obviously, I've jumped into a little bit early, and I've done a bit to Emily, obviously, at Ossett, but people did warn me when you went to management, you'll know about it. Yeah, crazy.
People said like a couple of weeks off now, but you won't be.
No, I've not stopped to be fair, because obviously, we're on a rebuild, just spoke about, which we'll probably speak about later, but it's hard. I want in that luxury position to keep lads, if you know what I mean. So.
It's we obviously me and Smudger have touched on before. Budgets are phenomenal at the minute again, aren't they? Like the roof in terms of our level below even. It's just crazy. But yeah, mate. So your football journey. So if you can remember, mate, take us right back. Go on, take us right back to your upbringing and when you first had love.
How long have you got, like? So obviously I started out 5-6-year-old at Yorkshire Amateurs. Obviously they were just Counties one, obviously, but they were obviously a grassroots team at the time. Started out there. My dad was a coach, manager with another bloke, Jeff Lindley, and his son played. Obviously, did 2 years there. We had myself, obviously one of my best mates, Aaron Lennon, and a few other lads that went on to.
He did alright.
Yeah, he did alright. That went on to play decent levels, and I got poached from Leeds at 8. You weren't allowed to sign till 9. We never knew that. I got poached at 8. Ended up at Leeds for 7 years. Wow. Lenny come 9 or 10, I believe he come. We got on with one of the coaches at Leeds, probably about 9 or 10. My dad mentioned him, said, look, this lad, he was still playing Yorkshire Amateurs at the time. Bring him in, and they brought him in. He'd been on this like 6 weeks. He was like, bring him next time he comes. And obviously he went from there,
So that era when you went to Leeds, who were in that first team at Leeds at that
Champions
point?
League.
What it?
Decor, Kewell, yeah. So we used to ball boy.
Some team back there.
Yeah, so obviously my age group, there were me, Aaron Lennon, loads of lads, a few lads from North East, but a lad called Dave Ball from Leeds as well, who went to play for Huddersfield. Simon Walton, Johnny Howson, Sam Hurd, so all went on to do good things. Age group above James Milner. Another age group above Brent Lester, who had a good career. He jumped into non-league too. He was brilliant. He was probably the best out of everyone within 4 or 5 age groups. Rob Constable, I don't remember Rob Constable. Rob did all good career in that. We had a good group, to be fair. We had Johnny Howson, who played, even though age group below us, he played the age group below him. He was always one that you thought would never quite make it, and he's gone on to, obviously Milner, Aaron and Milner's played really well, but he's made so many appearances now, captain at Middlesbrough, and he's had a great career. But I was there till 15. I got a bad injury.
It's funny you saying this about this league. Sorry to interrupt you. I played in a 5-a-side tournament at New York Stadium last week, and Fraser Richardson was playing a business there, obviously he was part of that Champions League.
He was.
Because he'd come from Rotherham and signed at Leeds, But some side.
Oh yeah, it was brilliant.
Nice. Ferdinand would have played that money, I know.
Ferdinand, Woodgate, boy,
It was semi-final, weren't it?
Yeah, they did AC Milan play.
AC Milan,
With
ball boy home games, so like the Besiktas at home, Barcelona, Lazio, I think. There were loads of, with ball boys. We were at that age, I think we were about 10, between 10 and 12 at the time. I can't remember what it was, I should know as a Leeds fan really, but it was good. And I got a bad injury. I walked before with a bad injury at 15 with my heel. We played away at Man U at Cliff, I remember, and Alex Ferguson was there with him. My dad always tells me the story, and I played fullback, and I remember left winger running to me, and I don't think I meant it, but I managed to knock it through his legs. I think I tried taking him on, I shit my pants and run round him, and wow, I just thought, oh, my heel. And we had a physio from Blackburn at the time. He was really good. He was at an academy, but he was with us that day. When you them days, I think it might be the same now. In fact, it is, yeah, because the little boy's been in it as well. So when you travel, you have a few age groups going. So it's normally even odds or evens in it. Yeah. So anyway, we were there, brilliant. So he looked after me, and we were 7 months before.
What did you do?
Hurt my heel, but they didn't know what it was. They sent me for all these top scans. I think we went to Germany somewhere. We went somewhere, and spent a lot of money on me, to be fair to them. And they were ready to offer me I think it was a 2 or 3 year deal.
I was about to say at that point in time you were doing well, as well.
Doing well, so we signed 2 year deals. Aaron had just got a deal from Adidas. I'd been approached by Umbro, but I got injured. And then at the time, it were all this case with Woodgate and Tony Ackworth, one good friends, obviously, Ackey at Pickering and Dewberry, and they were up for all sorts going on one day at a time. So I'll never forget it. Majestics, yeah. So I was in the academy side, obviously every 3 times a week, every Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and they were like a window, and they were through in first team one, and they always said limit fingers as it doing. They'd come and have a chat with them, and they'd go in there. And obviously, because it got repetitive and they'd see me all the time, it started getting a bit weird. And like Dewberry, you'd see Dewberry getting his thing out, like something to stay on because it comes out. But I was getting I've got window and like, you know, I was 15 at the time or something. You couldn't do it now, do you know what I mean?
Absolutely,
but,
no.
But that was laughing, and you've got.
It's amazing how many times we've touched on this sort of eras.
Yeah. You've got like voice, like backhanded and stuff, and I'm going, these are my idols, it's, you know, and academy physios, like, back it in, you know, he's going, Alan Sutton with physio first team, and he's like, he could handle it, it was funny, it was brilliant, right? And you know, I loved it. If we were laughed, you know what I mean? I didn't love seeing bullies, obviously, but I loved it. So it was great, and then all of a sudden we got called in one night. Well, in fact, the physio come back to the physio room. He'd gone off somewhere, come back, and he was quite mad actually. And you alright? He says, yeah. He said, I've left after that night. Really? He says, yeah, I'm done. I'm thinking. Next thing, my dad comes in the physio room, and he brought my dad in. He said, oh, we need to have a chat to him. We need to go. I'm like, okay. So he goes and takes into his room, and he just says, yeah, we're not going to win because he had a board up, and you like got rated A, B, and C. And we were top at Royal quite high up, but in Borstal I'd not played for long, and we'd seen from loads of games earlier on in the season, and it was good to see actually. We'd been a bit nosy, and they just said, oh, we're not going to offer you a deal no more, that's it. And it's like, wow. Obviously my dad were pissed off, I were upset as you are, crying in the car. We get contact from this physio. We found out he'd left because they were getting rid of me. He wasn't happy with how it had gone, and which was quite nice. He was from Blackburn, really good physio. But yeah, it was weird. They just said, we don't think you're going to come back good enough from injury. So we got a call from Everton. My dad had a pacemaker at the time. It going through a bit of a bad time when my dad at the time, we were blacking out and stuff. We were driving to training and black out, and we were really. I remember once we pulled into, we were on a bit of training, and my dad was telling me a story, like, and we were laughing at it a bit, and we were pulling out of Esso, probably on about Verdin Esso or something like that, you know, I'm laughing. And then all of a sudden he's like, we started, and I thought you were laughing. That's alright. And I remember the car were rolling out as if we went out onto the road. And I don't know why I pulled the handbrake, and it just, then I was just, oh, sorry son. Like, black, and that's when he realised, he said, I need to get sorted. So anyway, we're getting pissed. So the travel to Everton would have been a bit mad, and my dad mentioned it. So anyway, Bradford City come in, and I said, yeah, why not? So we just went straight to Bradford.
Local.
Yeah, but weirdly, it were unbelievable. I've gone to Bradford, I said, what's injury? I see what it's like. Didn't feel it. First training session, just for a week after I'd been released. Like,
You've not done on it?
no, really? Get gone.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, what's going on
Did I
here?
join any treatment or would it just rest? Or
No, just had treatment. They reckon it was growth pains, and
Oh,
when I
right,
found out
right.
this physio contacted us,
Yeah.
I believe it was growth pains. They couldn't find anything on my heel. They did all these test boopers everywhere across country. They couldn't find anything. Do you know what I mean? And it was weird, just a freak injury that. You know,
Imagine putting things in your shoes.
yeah, trying everything, it didn't work. Now, I remember going to Bradford and they said, "We play Sunday." I'm like, "Yeah." I played, I didn't feel it. It was just disbelief. Anyway, I signed a deal at Bradford. Bradford going through a bit of shit time with money. And my dad were a big believer of, look, if you don't make it, you need to have something behind you. So we'd sort of like had an agreement. My dad was quite switched on. We had an agreement with Bradford where I'd go to college, Notre Dame College in Leeds, which was like a football college. Twice a week, I believe, and train back for 3 times, which worked out well because they went a day and a half anyway. I'm having 3 days of college, but the academy went, the white team went a day and a half anyway for learning, but it was no. So that was my first year, and obviously playing reses and stuff, and then in year after we, obviously I was full time then in with Bradford. We went a few games at pre-season with first team, we'd travel away and do all that, and then you'd go Sheffield Wednesday, like the 17th man or 18th man to go for experience with first team. A few lads for youth team were getting games in season, in cups, but we never got one of them. And then all of a sudden, Livingston come in for me. Obviously I'd been half Scottish, I had a sniff at Scotland squads. And then I went up to Livingston and we played Hearts.
Did you go up and sign or was it just a trial game?
Yeah, they wanted me to sign on loan for the last 5 games of the season. It was mad how it worked out. So we goes up to Livingston and they put me up in a hotel. And I went to get a shower and I got there. They said to me, don't drive up, we'll get a train, we'll pick you up from the train station. So I pulled up to the train station and the next thing I have to see this big Porsche Cayenne with no time. And a whole Livingston all over it. I'm thinking, oh no, that's not me. From my estate here, you know. Like, yeah. So I get off the train on my bag as you do. And Bill goes, Tom, yeah. He says, gives you bags, mate, I've got them, you know, no problem. Anyway, we go to the hotel, they turned my hot water off, my heating off in this hotel. I think because I was English, I'd gone downstairs, but they rung me and said, oh, your dinner's ready downstairs, you know, you can go sit down, be seated. And it was like a candle lit, like just the one table, a candle lit, and I'm thinking, I looked through and fuck that. And then I walked out, so I went for a walk, found a Chinese, night before game, Chinese, as you do. Do you know what I mean? And then, and then we played next day. I remember the first thing that happened, I got megged by a Brazilian midfielder called Camazola. Absolutely classic. First thing, I just went to him, thought I'm getting it with me. You know, your dad says, first of all, getting it.
Did you hang up with you?
Yeah, my dad's Scottish and he lived up there this time now.
Okay.
Obviously, as I got a bit older, so he was up there. Fucking hell, I went straight for the
Early doors as well.
Early doors, yeah. Within like 3 or 4 minutes, I'm going, no. John Robertson McGaffey, obviously, you know, Nottingham Forest legend. Anyway, long story short, I wouldn't say I played that well, but I worked hard, as you do. And I must have had a bit of a spat with Jamie McAllister, who was left back for Scotland at the time. And he's giving it, fucking English bastard. I'm like, he said, I'm going to nail you. And weirdly, 70 minutes in, ball like blocking me left back, and I looked up, it's him. Shit, so I jumped in 2-footed, as you do. I went low, you know, he just straight over the top, cut me in, thighs. I literally jumped up. He jumped up, grabbed me, stuck me on me. Honestly, I wanted to haymaker him, but I just couldn't move. It absolutely stunned me. Right, so all the old players are in and that. Refs come in, sent me. Anyway, walking in, I'm still a bit dazed as you are. Fucking hell. He's like, you wee man. Me and you went dressing room walls and we're going to knock off every one of them. I'm thinking, fucking hell. And then as we're walking off, John Robertson shouting at him. And he's going, you fucking coward macker. Blah, blah, going mad at him. He's going, fuck off. He's going to have it when we go in there. Anyway, we got in tunnel and that, and a few people are fucking just trying to slide in him. I'll give you one more. I'm going to have him first, he's going to tune me. Anyway, it calmed down, that was it. But then they went into administration. It was weird, so they went into administration. Literally a few days after it was.
Fucking Chinese, that.
Yeah. I put Chinese up there.
He should have done too. Just a civilised night, none of this would happen. So they're going to administration.
Yeah, went to administration, so it was like Alec Cleland, he played for it, he was like our advisor. He were at Livingston and he rang my dad and said, look, really sorry. We want to offer Tom a contract and stuff, but we've gone into admin and they went bust. I don't even think they finished season, they might have finished season, I can't remember. There were only 5 or 6 games left, I think there were. So that was that. So
Did you go to that, like, or would you?
Yeah, gutted me. So I come back out of Bradford. Colin Todd said, look, we're not offering you a deal. We're struggling for money. Crooksy were midfielder with Tom Kearney. Myself and Pat Maguire played midfield for YTs, and they just said, look, we're not giving many out. They were struggling as well, Bradford at the time, they were into that phase.
Yeah.
I think Colin Todd sacked actually.
We've said this, like, you can be right player, not wrong player, right player.
Yeah.
It's all that time.
Yeah. It is, yeah, and there were a lot
That was a bit like Bump Field at Livingston.
Yeah, Bump.
Back down to
Bump, yeah. Bump. But it was weird because Bradford were then only offering like maybe 150 as a pro, but like, and then 250 for appearances. You're like, you might not play. It was weird how they were structuring it. It was all wrong at the time, but.
What would they be League Two?
Yeah, when I first went, they were dropping out of Premier League with Carboni.
Yeah.
And then the Champions just had a fall from grace and kept going down. Yeah.
Strange that Ben spoke about it.
He did, yeah.
His contract were offered in like a ridiculously small basic.
Yeah, with loads of bonuses on.
And if you make X amount of appearances, you'll get this lump sum. And he says he went to spot to one of the other lads and he says, we'll just stop playing.
You're not playing.
Yeah.
You're not playing. Yeah, he's like 20 appearances, didn't he? He didn't play again.
No, it happens, doesn't it? Yeah, all the time happening. And then, obviously, great club, like I say, when I was there, though, Brian Robson was gaffer at one point, and obviously Colin Todd, Bobby Davison, great people, good men. Obviously, Toddy were a bit like really old school with, he'd want the experienced lads in. He did give a few lads runs out in Johnston Payne a little bit more time, Galley Cup, whatever it was. Yeah. Well, he might have been that Leamington or something, but he did give a couple of lads, but they were either a striker or fat Big Sam Dent, who remember Big Sam? Yeah. Big Sam played a game, in that. He was a big lad.
Yeah.
And then after that, it were weird really. There were a host of conference clubs coming in, and then I sort of like had enough of football at the time. It's like, you get sold the dream. I've done really well at Bradford.
Had you not played many games, Tom, as well? Like, were you just like training?
Yeah, we trained a lot. Obviously, we did a lot of pre-season with them, and you'd get, you'd always do with them, and then they were always one end Bradford where we're like, they'd have a few good games, they drop off a bit, and you're like, oh, he's gonna have a few good games, and we're gonna put someone in. There'd be 3 or 4 of us training with the first team. You're like, is it gonna get shouted? Is it ours here? And then he'd be like, oh shit, he needs to get a win, and someone's win midweek. Like, fuck me. We were just like.
And what other lads think exactly the same?
A lot of lads, yeah. But he did, like I say, he put a few lads in. Jake Wright had a good career.
7.5, Jake Wright.
Yeah, Craig Bentham. Ben,
Is down Drumford.
Yeah, good players. Obviously, Danny Forrest. Danny Forrest for a few years above me Forrest, striker. He went in and did brilliant, to be fair. Really good lad and that. But yeah, it were weird, but I love my time at Bradford. Again, I just think, for a few lads, not myself, but for a few lads, probably the wrong place at the wrong time, if that makes sense. Maybe a few years after or a few years before. Danny Ellis was there as well. Did Danny get a look in? I can't remember.
Danny and Sam both went to guys that
Yeah. And then Matt saying they put like a quarter out there, so a lot of non-league clubs come in and do it. And it was weird because I remember.
Had you ever even thought about non-league though? Because you've
never known before.
No.
Yeah. You didn't understand. You'd play. Might have been Eccles or Farsley pre-season. Might have been guys actually pre-season. You play them and it's not like you're a bit like these, but you didn't actually know.
No,
it's just and then
it's not really players. It's not ignorance. It's just a.
It was strange, like, because obviously when we were at Stocking, we were playing pro sides. It was a great experience for us, but for them it was probably horrible because you probably. Yeah, it weren't it? It were more kickball sessions for pro sides, weren't it, where they play against non-league. But what I'm saying is like, they're going to get voted, weren't they?
Yeah.
Because non-league sides are like fucking hell. When they're going to have an opportunity to have a nibble at someone like that. I can remember coming on against Sheffield Wednesday and Gary Levine saying to me, don't pre-season friendly and stuff. Well, if no 5-0 up, I think Wednesday at time like I've come to don't hurt you, will you? And like, obviously I'm a big lad like, but some of them were great and some of them were cagey. I mean, Jermaine Johnson was just for Wednesday.
Yeah, different gear.
Oh my God. He'd take you on and apologise every time, sorry. Because he was just like lightning. Well, I don't believe. But I used to love it as a non-league player. Like you were saying it was, because you were seeing it from pro side.
Yeah.
Who were these like fads? Never heard of them, like, but for them lads,
yeah.
Probably.
Weird, and then when you drop into it, you love it. Then you know, like
go way around.
Telling you play leagues, you love it. It's really sharp, and you know, you love it. It's great, but yeah, and then obviously all these we get the quote through, and all these non-league clubs from conference all the way down come in for you, and you're like, I don't know, who do we speak to? Phones going, my dad's people ring my dad. I remember seeing Whitby. I'm like, you know what? Fuck it, I want to go to Whitby. He was like, went to Whitby. I said, fish and chips. That's what I was saying. You know what I mean? I went to Whitby, and again, I struggled for the first 2 years. I was there 2.5 years or so, and I struggled, to be honest. Although I enjoyed it, it was just hard because obviously it was freezing for midweeks and a lot of travelling. You know, league was great. We were travelling probably out of Wilkeston, which was probably the best place we went, but Leek, getting spat on. It was just.
Teams like Lancaster.
Yeah, Lancaster war, yeah. There were loads, and like I say, it was weird. I played with Matty Appleby, who was in the team at the time. I don't know if you remember big Danny Brunskill, he scored. He was yeah. Danny Brunskill.
Matt.
Yeah.
Well, he went at Whitman and done it in a rate all about what sent off and I went Bradford.
Bradford, wasn't that? Yeah, that's what we probably played against each other back then, but we didn't realise.
Punches at each other, me and Danny like, he was a big lad, Danny.
Big lad. You know, he's the only lad I know that just say, put him on his right, he never had a right foot. Put him on his right, but he was that big and strong. Even if he stood on his left hand side or your right, he'd still get it on him somehow. But he could just roll it, he just hit it for 40 yards. Great play, he just scored from like. And do you know what? I think Whitby made me, if I'm honest, because I was thrown in deep end, not by anyone in particular, just how it works out in football. But it was brilliant. I did all the travelling then. I did, you know, I'd seen it when, you know, North Sea just coming in on the picture. What's going on here? And it was great. Do you know what I mean? It was really. I always fond memories of it, and I always love it.
Did you ever feel it that, especially at Whitby as well, especially like sides that were coming up from Yorkshire and sometimes probably lower down than that, maybe your Belpers and stuff like that? You have a brand, didn't you? Because midweek and obviously midweek.
100%. We used to Whitby. You'd be renowned for midweek, winning midweek. You know, it was great. You'd think, but then people.
It's one of the places you think we're nearly there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tell you, down that road, you're a good hour away.
Yeah, you think it's another 50 miles to go here.
Yeah, but it's right what you're saying. They've got all that journey in bloody legs, whoever you're playing against. I remember when we used to be stocking, it used to be like we'd go, we'd get turned off normally. 10 times out of 10. We get back on coach, we get back out at 3. It's like, but the next morning, Mrs. is going, how'd you go on sleep? We've fucking got his asses on to us, like, what time are you in? About 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
It's
a weird one at Whitby because the catchment area is good because they've got, so like York lads aren't too far, but you've got up North East, you get good lads from North East, you know what I mean? And I think a few years back it was when South Shields were coming up and North Shields and that, they were taking our place for more money, but Whitby they've had some good teams along the way.
Good club then, you enjoyed it?
Oh, brilliant, honestly, like absolutely brilliant. Probably, like I say, because it's the first one you always remember it more, but honestly it was brilliant. It was really, really, really good.
It always struck me as a decent club.
Yeah.
Like when we played there and that organised, you know, it's close to like a professional setup.
It'd take a coach squad, it'd take 15 minutes away. Yeah, but no, it was brilliant. It was really good, and then obviously, again, we could be sat here for hours, but I know some of the clubs, you know, obviously Towns obviously played under Benno. And then I joined, a few of the joint military, 2011. I obviously will go on to that probably shortly if you want, but 2011, I was, I can't remember about a wall then, bloody hell. Got my knee, you see. But I ended up at Taddy at one point. I'd just gone to Afghanistan. BPA, sorry, that's right. So, in fact, yeah, you just reminded me. So before I joined military, I was at BPA, or Blackburn were chairman.
Yes.
And I was at Ossett Town on 80 quid playing for Cy Collins. I think Ben were at the time with me a bit, but I always remember it was 80 quid. And I just thought, I'm not travelling with me no more, I don't care about money.
Yeah.
I'll just go. And it was red and white stripes and that. And then Bradford Park Avenue coming for me. Me and a mate of mine, Matty James, and they're literally 600 quid or 700 quid. Thinking, I'm not that good. Literally straight cash. Cash. Yeah, and obviously we've gone in there. At the time we had Roddy Patterson, Stuart Wood up top, two FC United lads.
Yeah. Ruhr and Ample Learning.
I like Rory, isn't
Dave.
Very good way.
Yeah, brilliant.
he? He went to play pro in Ireland, didn't he?
Yeah, well, I used to go over to see Rory.
I think he might have a couple
He
of
did,
international
yeah,
caps,
I went over to watch him.
Did you?
Rory, yeah, we played for Linfield.
That's right, yeah.
I still keep in contact with him now. But when I joined military, it was a bit weird because where he's from, Strabane, it's totally against it. So he said, don't sell. Like, if you come over here, you're not seeing a bit there or something. So it was pretty weird, you know what I mean? But yeah. Yeah. But yeah, back having Dave Cameron with Gaffer. And I remember my first training session Thursday night. We trained at Thornbury Roundabout. They had their own chef. So you'd plant 5-a-side court, go in, you'd have stick. You'd have all
Did he go for himself? Would it have been an Evo stick prem?
Evo stick prem. We played Marine on my first game. Yeah. But we'd go in and you'd have a big table with steaks, chicken, chips, salad, blah, blah, blah. I'm thinking, fucking hell, what have we done here? Yeah. Madness. But my first session, I got scouting with me, Dave Cameron. And I heard you're a tough little company, you know what I mean? Fucking smashed me into the 5-a-side fence. Cut my knee, I'm thinking, I didn't manage this, what's going on? Lads were like, lads were just nearly each other in training, and I didn't realise anyway. Saturday come out, we were at home against Marine, so I walked in the changing room, sat down, and kit man, what did they call them? Yeah, what he called, they were mad as a box of frogs. Cats it then, mate. I says, oh, right, where do I sit, man? So, from there to there, they let Mank sit. Then there's a gap. From there to there, they let Scouser sit. Then there's another gap. That gap's bigger because they don't like each other. There's another gap. It's all rest here. So you sit around there and I'm thinking, right, okay, so I want to start as you go over there. I was there early for skating, keen on that. Anyway, Mank taught Scouser to come in first. They had a minibus. They won't travel together. So they come in first. Stevie Connors and all them. And remember if could play when Stevie was there. Another lad I gave me contact with, a great lad. And then managers come in, he walked in, Dave Cameron, just kicking off about out and note. And he just said, the fucking bus is late, Mank bus or whatever it was. So whichever it was. And then they come in and I looked and not one of them were talking to me. I'm thinking, yeah, and then there's a few of our lads from West Yorkshire and South Yorkshire, whatever, and right lads, yeah. So, Bob Blackburn comes in with his little chihuahua, little kid with a pink collar on and stuff, and just walked in, dogs coming pissed on the floor and that. Right lads, winter day, $2,000, walked out, literally, we're in about 10 seconds, I'm going, fucking hell, massive it was. Walked out, thinking, crazy this. Mark Aran, Jugsy, worked centre half, he was skipper Jugsy, remember Jugsy? Yeah. Jugsy, great lad.
We'll have to try and get Jugsy.
Yeah.
Good kid.
Great lad. We got him.
Is it? Yeah. Good lad, Jugsy.
We got him really well. He sat with us because he wanted to fucking man on a scout. But he was skipper. So, Spider, John Worsnop. Spider, keeper. So he sat with us. We're all coming back now. But yeah, and then we played, beat Reading 2-0. And then. Did
you start?
Yeah, I started, yeah. Dave Cameron just said, I don't care what you don't ball, I just want you to nail this lad. Point the lad out to me. He said, in fact, 2 foot in early doors, you'll get away with it. If you don't, I'll pay you fine and it won't affect you. I'm thinking, this bloke wants me to nail people. Just go and elbow, nail, do everything you can.
Just be horrible.
Be horrible, and I'm thinking. But they got it down and played, obviously.
Yeah.
Good. Even though everyone hated each
Just
other.
mentioned Matty James, he was a good lad.
Matty James, good pal of mine, from my area, he's a great lad, yeah.
Great.
Matty, yeah.
Really good.
Matty started as well that day, we both went in, really good player. And then, yeah, it just crazy. I remember Christmas we went out to Sheffield, and Jugs here, we had 400 quid per player. Just spend everything we paid for, so your hotel we paid for. There were a couple of bars where you had tables and bottles on, all that were already on. And then Jugs was just like out of 400. I think we had about seven grand or so much stupid in kit.
Wow.
At Christmas, that is. But that's it, Germans coming in, 2 grand if you went a day.
And what did Chubbs do?
Yeah, just threw money at you, yeah. But money were always wrong. You'd get like some training sessions, you'd get lads just stood, there'd be a line at his car, he'd have a big Bentley. Didn't you that were on? I'm dancing all that. And it just lads would be going, mine's down 300 quid. So, yeah, there you go. He goes, right, Patterson, mine's down 1100 quid. Fucking hell, Rory. There you go. Honestly, it wasn't that mad.
We didn't check it. They could have been saying, how come?
Well, yeah, it was just madness. Just madness, yeah. But not
What
with that.
was his like background? You haven't obviously business and that.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Background business.
I don't know. No comment, Your Honour.
He's not declared it.
No, but you know what? It was a great bloke.
Yeah.
When I signed, right, he rang me and he says, right, I want you to come at my house. Because Dave Cameron didn't sign me. Dave Cameron made it clear to me I hadn't signed you. I don't know you. He said, I don't know who you are. That's why he smashed me in training that night. I don't know who you are. So Bob Blackburn signed me. I went to his house. Someone got up his house and I went, pull up the gate. When you pull up the gate, ring me, I rang it. I said, I'm here. Fucking gate's open. His big documents are there. No chihuahua this time. I forgot about this that to him. And he goes, just come in. Just come in. He says, I'm in pool. I'm going, what? I'm in pool. He goes in. And woman goes, oh yeah, it's through there. I've just made his tea. Do you want it? I said, no, it's fine. And again, he's sat edge at pool like this. Got his fucking tea, steak and all that, whatever. And I'm thinking, fucking hell, who am I signing for here? Yeah. That's how mad it was, do you know what I mean?
What a life that is.
And he said, you brought any short for your out? I'm like, no. You could have got anything you want. I'm like, weirdest thing ever. That's
How old were you? Like early 20s then?
Yeah, they'll probably been about 22, maybe 21, 22.
Single, no missus then?
No, single, I think, yeah. Happy days, yeah. He's up to boy, you know.
Come here. You got a bit of money, have you?
No, but yeah, crackers. And then it would just crack it again. I don't think we got promoted. I think we lost out in playoffs. Oh, FC United beat us. That's right. FC United beat us.
And Rory had been at them, he'd not moved to them, had he?
No, so we got beaten.
He'd come from them, had
We played away at FC United.
he? We
Semis
were
off
playing
the
at
final.
Gig Lane.
And we got spanked. Not spanked, I think we got beat. And then Dave Cameron got sacked. Sinnott and DC were at Farsley. They come in to Park Ave. But they had that much money. They were like, I knew them. And they were going, like, they were signing all sorts of players. But they wanted to bring up Farsley, which I get, you know what I mean?
Yeah, what was the trick?
And then Neil Parsley were at Farsley and Mark Jackson in Conference North. And I signed there then. I went to Farsley. And then they went bust. I'm trying to go for a spit, it'll be hours. They went busted Farsley in Conference North. I remember Jacko ringing me, Mark Jackson, saying, Tom, I need to get to my dad's pub. Dad, they lived about 20 minutes from me, so I went to his dad's pub. Need to get that ground. Administrators were coming in, come down the ground, we cleared the lot, like all gear. And cars were full of rafters. Drove to his dad's pub and just got shit faced. Someone missed out going training, but just got shit faced at his dad's pub. I think I slept at his dad's pub that night. But it was great, like, and I'd say they went bust. Then again, we, got a bit quicker, but yeah, ended up at Taddy, well, ended up joining RAF, ended up,
did that affect fuel?
Yeah, massively. Massively.
Yeah, I want
Massively.
to touch on that with, when I know we're coming on to
Yeah.
that, I know it's obviously not the main thing, but obviously I knew you anyway, but I knew obviously how much that time in service meant to you as well. But not only that.
What year were we at Stocky?
It'd have been 2011.
Yeah, so just before or just as I was
I
joining.
don't think you were in.
No, I was joining.
Yeah.
I think I was just joining, yeah.
Where did you come from? That's on that.
My dad was a Marine,
Right.
and Lee Crooks had joined
Right.
RAF. So Crooks was ringing me, going, mate, football's like being pro. Literally like being pro, and you need to join. And I got a phone call. I went down to the Praise office, got a phone call from the gaffer at the time, Nick DeLong, from RAF, said if you join RAF, you'll play football all the time and you'll play for the national team. And I'm thinking, you know, Crooks had told me all about it, do you know what I mean?
It's amazing because I've heard loads of stories about it.
Yeah.
Because I've had obviously family members that's been in forces and have said honestly that, you know, like because you play, well, you're just you'll be tracked like
Oh,
is it
it
true
is,
that?
it's true, yeah. Like you get what you want. I mean, I went to Afghanistan in 2014. I couldn't wait to go. Our inter-services is always March. So you play Army, RAF, Army Navy.
Yeah.
And I was meant to go out on the 28th, the after my birthday. We played on the 27th, my birthday. I went to fly out to Afghanistan on the 28th. Now football had got wind of that a week before. When you go to Afghanistan as a 28th? Like, no, you're not. Like, why? That's what you're doing after the game. So I've got to shoot back. I'm not going to go straight to Bradford City or my gearing car. So I'd already seen my visor and they were like, no. So anyway, they told me, right, you're not going out for, I think, it was 10 days after, I think I went on 8th. 11 days after.
What have you joined as?
I joined as it ended up being as an aerospace basically. So it's operations, so flying operations. I was joined as a flight officer. Finished off quite well, obviously within the operations, like manager side of it and stuff.
The reason I'm asking, Stepson's
Yeah.
is doing his initial training. It's 3 weeks in. He's just started his 3rd week this week. So he's going in as an aircraft engineer.
He'll do well with that, yeah. He'll do well.
Did you? I mean, just talk us through this football in RAF. Was it just like getting pissed and stuff like that? Or what? Is it?
No, weird it were.
Or is it like
Proper full on?
Is it?
Like literally, you're training twice a day. Facilities are second on your training, like St George's Park. RAF home stadium, Shrewsbury Town. So when you play there, you get a helicopter come in, land, drop match ball off, and off it goes again. It was honestly like frightening. Do you know what I mean? It was frightening. You'd play all over. I probably worked 4 months a year every year.
Yeah.
Because when you've got the RAF, then our shortest serving captain for combined services, which is the UK Armed Forces team. Yeah, what 7, 8, 9 years, whatever it was there, which were good. But yeah, I always advise young lads now to join RAF. Obviously, Army Navy, yeah, as well. They're good in their certain ways, but obviously I know the RAF inside out, and if you can join as like a cyber security or an aircraft techie, you do 5, 6 years now. You got all your quals, and then you can bang out and you know, I know lads who are cyber security, they're earning 130 basic, 130 grand a year basic before they start Vodafone and Siemens and all these, you know, whatever it is, and just go get your quals. But the football is phenomenal. It's like honestly.
The reason I'm interested as well as Redder is because he played like basketball with Sheffield Sharks under 18.
Yeah.
It's a similar thing to him.
That moving, yeah.
Yeah.
Once he does his training, it's probably one of the only things that they can't pull you out of is your training because, when I went to my second phase training, I were halfway through, probably about halfway through my training, and the station commander, he's like the top dog at station, he salute his car. That's how big he is. You know, if he goes past you, stop and salute and stuff. Yeah, with Bentley and the Chihuahua. That's not a Chihuahua, mate. 2 hands I did with that. But yeah, so I've lost my journey. I'm thinking about his Chihuahua.
You were about Commander.
Oh yeah, so he he comes into our building one day, our training building, and only 8 was on my course, and he's so much going on everything. So our instructors were gone out of the room, like, what's going on here? Station commander's in. I was like, I guess he comes in. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then I said, Tom, you got a minute? Yeah. Not him, but like the instructors. I'm like, fuck, what does it mean? Yeah. What have I done? Fucking have I pissed now or what? You know what I mean? Anyway, we goes in and he was leaving. So I said, right, tomorrow, it was December, I'll never forget it. Because in December you have a week's meet. Just before Christmas, you play 2 games. You sometimes play fire service and police service. You sort of try and get your civil stuff. Yeah,
Is it?
yeah. I might play with Tom before that, but yeah.
Is he what fire service, right?
Yeah. So they says, right, your friends will be happy in your course because Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you're going to our football team. I'm like, oh, where? They went, they're just down the road at Costa. We were at Shawbury. They went, what'll happen is you have a driver, they'll take you down, they'll drop you off. Obviously, you don't need all, you've got your boots and that, yeah, but I'll obviously have it all. You'll go there and then you'll train, stay with them for, the driver will bring you back on an evening, slip it and you go, well, 3 days, there's 2 games apparently. But your course will be happy because we've been told we've got to stop this course for 3 days. They can go flying every day, but you'll miss out on flying because you have to play football. But they didn't want you to fall behind and they could do it where there was a bit of a break. So I goes back in and everyone's looking at me in my course going, I'm like, so with everyone? We're like, no. So we got back to the block, we marched back to the block that evening and everyone's like, high-fiving me. Even birds, high-fiving me. I think, fucking hell, what's going on here? They went, we're flying for 3 days now. And I'm going, what do you mean? The lads are going, Tom, we're not flying for 3 days, you're after football. We're not flying. I'm like, why is that? That's what they said to me. Is that Jones? Yeah. All they did for 3 days, my course, and they just went up in helicopters, just flying around, hours on end, and then coming back. And that was the day, like 3 days, out of football. And I remember we
It's like that.
yeah.
The Queen of Pig, like, bastards.
Bad, yeah. But yeah, when it went football, then it went straight away. And I thought, fucking hell, what? This is unbelievable. Like the training work. You know, the manager nicked along at the time. He went on to go with India national team, Rwanda national team. He played for Bristol City. He'd done everything. Great manager. Yeah, I've had some brilliant managers. You know, Wilkie. He's got qualifications through Yin Yang, and he worked for Arsenal, doing all their analyst stuff and that whilst in RAF. So he was a good manager. And Cookie and the coach were played for Swindon. He was pro. Obviously, John RAF. Been some great managers. You know what I mean? Along the way.
Do you reckon if you went to that football in RAF, it might have not been as long, or?
Oh, it wouldn't have been as long as I'd been out. No. Don't get me wrong.
Do you think you'd enjoy it if it wasn't for that?
No. No, my dad did say at the time, like, you sort of like get lost at, early 20s, you get a bit lost. Yeah, because obviously with Park Avenue and Farsley were throwing money here, so he was still earning good, like I say, 600-700 quid, and then with bonuses as well, so it's still good, isn't it? Back then it was very good,
Well, you worked
16, 17 years ago. No, because that was it, basically. It needs back then, that money were big money, wasn't it? It's probably like $1,000 now. So, you're looking at it and then all of a sudden, like I said, I went to watch it. That's probably when it started turning into stocky. Stocky wasn't great, but and then obviously we joined that. My dad got that same marine, he pushed me up, went army and joined that. And then when Crooksy gave me a call, it was like, I was getting pushed on my dad and going, right, go on. But it was the best thing I've ever done, it's set me up for life.
I was about to say that.
Set me up for life. I've come out.
Even if the decision were football oriented, what you've got since, has it been?
Honestly, Brett, when I always worried about coming out thinking,
what are you going to
you
do?
get a bit institutionalised, and all that's it, football's great. Going back to that quickly before we go on is, with national team, we go out to Germany. We fly out to Germany, play Germans in their own backyard. Hansa Rostock. Yeah, 10,000 people there, and they're all like hammering you. Big German, oh yeah, yeah. And then we beat them 2-0, and then they just take out piss Germans, they go out and piss, take out piss, it's absolutely shit face. Don't spend a penny, they just do everything for you. Then they have a barbecue next day, we just beat them, and you know, then they come up and stuff. Played Republic of Ireland, we played them at, got some good pals from there now, and hopefully getting out to Dublin to see one of their gaffers I got close with. One of their lads died 3 or 4 years ago, and I did that Goggins challenge, you know, the 4 miles every 4 hours, 48 hours, yeah, 48. So they hold me quite, I esteem it quite, you know, they look after us. But like we play at St George's Park on English training pitch. Southgate were under 21s manager, and he come up to us and like, how the fuck have you got on this pitch? I can't get my 21s on here. And whilst our national anthem were going, he stood there like singing it with us. Did Southgate? We were looking at him, not Southgate, and he was singing it in front of us.
What did you do a few years ago? Did you deliver a match ball as well?
No, FA Cup. So 2018. Yeah, you've put me that road there, haven't you? 2018 FA Cup final. So it was RF 100.
You were all RF.
Yeah.
Oriented,
Yeah. So it was RF 100, like I say, 100 years at RAF. From 1918, obviously 2018. I got a phone call one day, and they're like, from a wing commander at the time, really high up in football. So you've been selected to do an FA Cup. I said, yeah, good one. You can't FA Cup to Raw Box. Yeah, whatever. So, yeah, you are. And anyway, conversation ended. I'm like, no chance. Email comes through. I sat on the computer at the time, desk, and email comes through. I'm thinking, you know. No, next thing, phone's going, Gaffer. I'm like, yep. He says, yeah, obviously you're doing FA Cup. Your boss, so my high officer, he's getting mail off from now. Literally 15-20 minutes later, gets called into office. Not shitting your pants for once, because you think, fuck, what have I done? It was like, I knew. You know, congratulations, you're doing this. Next thing, you didn't wink in station commander's office. His top dog at station might say, well done, congratulations, brilliant for this station, blah blah. And I'm like, anyway, yeah, long story short,
I'll take a picture. Yeah.
Long story short, yeah, we go down to Wembley, and we stayed for the weekend, me and my wife, because my good friend in RF, he was playing at Vars final for Hungerford, Lewis Brownell, brother Josh Brownell at Burnley. So we watched him, but yeah, honestly, we met at 11 o'clock in the morning. We had to meet at Wembley. You had to rehearse all the steps. You had to know what steps were, because you kept looking down going up steps. You've got to do military, aren't you? You're proud. And we did all that. Real Ferdinand were there, chatting my missus up. Yeah, I was fucking like, wait a minute, I'm working here, what's going on, you know? But no, they were like, having phones, and I'll give you your phone number, and he's having funny, like. And is it Dan? I forget his name, or the BBC, is it? Dan Walker, he was there. They were all there, it was brilliant. And to be fair, they looked after us. Anyway, we'd rehearsed, and then they let you go off then for a few hours. You leave your uniform in the referee's room, just a couple of referees' rooms, we had a room, and then off the pop. And I remember
it's huge, by the way.
Massive, yeah, massive. Massive.
So when we Sheffield United, we stepped out. And for pre-match, I think it's alright. It was like 10,000-15,000 in there. It's not bad. It's right for kick-off. And I know we spoke about it before. It's just like a white noise, isn't it? You can't really make anything out. It's just a hum. And the place is huge. From
massive.
Ground level.
Massive.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it is massive, like. And then somebody says, well, let's go. So, atmosphere, we end up in Chelsea fan zone. And I've seen the lad from military, and Jukey, good lad, him and his brother. They were the big Chelsea fans. I must have had 3-4 pints. We went, shit, I'm kind of a couple of minutes late. You stop looking. They're throwing celery. Marvin Young's on DJ, they were throwing celery. Celery. I'm thinking, shit, I better sort myself out here. Anyway, he goes in. Seats were immense, like, seats were brilliant. But after 52 minutes, I think it was precise. They come and collect you from your seat, look from FA, goes, yeah, and you get up off your pop.
And you were all uniformed up at this point?
No, then you go in, get all suited and booted and that. Next thing, 85th minute, FA Cup comes in, gets brought in, bloke with gloves on. Whose is this? Yeah, it's yours. I'm like, right, sound. Gloves on, and we go up a back route, up these steps. I remember going up this lad come running down like a catering block, and he's just seen me, and all of a sudden he's gone, and he's literally just up against the wall like that. Really, like shit his pants because we're getting at the FA Cup and people are moving people out. Anyway, he goes up and we stood outside the club Wembley just at the bottom of the steps. And we literally, there's a door, we just left it in corridor. It was mad.
Yeah,
leave it there, had a red and blue ribbon on it, Man U Chelsea. And we're watching the game, and next thing, both games finished 1-0 Chelsea. Goes back in, here, blue ribbon, ribbon off, throat red one, put blue one on, and stood out. And then, honestly, it was surreal. I'm stood there before they come up steps, and then you can see little metal
Your wife
steps.
still sat where you were?
Yeah, she was still sat there.
Real.
Yeah, real. This time, real would come up, you know what I mean? Real was sweating at me, you know, what's going on here? Oh, it were not there.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then everyone just, there were so many, you just see so many cameras and photos.
Cameras. As well, like,
Yeah.
90,000.
Yeah, and everyone's just trying to get it there. And next thing is just like 5 big, massive security guys just fisting people off, like just handing them off left and right. Trying to just touch the FA Cup. You know, you stood here and you're outside of Club Wembley where you'll see it, I'll tell you, before you go up the metal steps. And I think it's 22 steps if I remember rightly. So, the lass that side of me took lad, he took the, first of all he gets told his nod, he takes the medals up, loses medals up, plonks them on, salutes, off he goes down the other side. But you don't see that because obviously I'm stood down the stairs. And Man U come up, every time they're coming up, I must have got dirty looks from, you know, just skinny Rashford's legs are like that. And it was Pogba actually. It was weird. Yeah, I was in there with Cup on. And they're all like, giving you dirty looks, and I'm thinking, lads, they're like me for me, the other way, turning on me. Thinking, it's not me. I don't know what come across me. And I remember it was Pogba coming up and I went, unlucky mate. And the mate just went, oh fuck. What would I said to him? He just thinking Pogba. Something like that, but I must have had it. You need to tell yourself to do something and you're thinking, don't say it.
Unlucky mate.
Yeah. You know, you think, I was thinking in my head, I was going to say something to one of
The more.
You're just so arrogant, smiling as you do, and you're so, I know there's been, I get it, Mourinho and all that, we're all coming up. And like, literally, I just went, unlucky mate. He looked me straight in the eye and I just give it that. Fuck. You know what I said? You don't mean to say it today.
No.
Anyway, I think winners' medals, last took winners' medals up, and then I got nod. Up I went, literally go up, and fucking cameras there. You know, straight as you go up there. It's a mad feeling, and you walk across, plonk it on.
There's you're on everybody's TV screen, aren't you?
Yeah, it was crazy, but there were lads out in Turkey on BT Sport watching it, and I've got loads of stuff on my phone when I finished.
I bet it was relentless, wasn't it?
Relentless, yeah. And then you get to go on pitch and you go down on pitch. But yeah, we're brilliant. So
is it a case of just put it on the spot?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, principal, I saluted, but I would sort of like saluting Cup because you only salute Prince William, but you weren't there. Of all days, it was Harry's wedding. So it was Ray Wilkins' wife because he just died. So 2 or 3 weeks later, I get pulled in office from my boss. I'm down at Verizon Norton. He says, right, you've got a visitor coming tomorrow. Coming to see you. Can have a bit of food with him and stuff like that. I said, all right, who was it? He said, Prince William. What? Yeah, Prince William. Me? Yeah, you. He knew that he wasn't there. So he's going to have dinner with you because just to say sorry. Or not sorry, but like just to, appreciate what you've done. And I'm like, fucking hell. Anyway, William comes and I could tell like people could come as well, so I took some lads come to the door. And he was like, didn't swear, but he said, I wish I were at their day instead of Harry's wedding. I'm not joking, that. Honestly, it was brilliant, but it was surreal. Brilliant. Yeah, I'd seen him before when I'm going through my training. You go to Valley where they were flying helicopters, Sea Kings out of, and he's really polite. Obviously, when you first joined, you're in that military mindset. They were brilliant, to be fair. They were absolutely fantastic. I were out in Afghanistan, and Harry used to come and play football with us. Again, what people think of him, he was brilliant as well. They were absolutely great. Do you know what I mean? We're not lads.
I always think he always comes across like that, lads.
It's not. It's just like just to smash people on sand. You don't desert, and you just kick people. You like, and the lads will be playing volleyball, and you just like pick pick up something else in the ball and just sling it at them. So he's not finding Mark with volleyballs, and he just game up and stuff. And
But even like you just said there, that much on each 15 minutes fair, that having camera. Just having that all your life must be.
yeah, definitely, definitely, yeah. But yeah, it was surreal.
And be humble and just make time.
Such a great experience, something that you'd never in life. You'd always take weird, you know. And it's weird because I don't actually tell people about it until people ask. It's weird, but it should be one of them where you should really say, "Oh, look, I've done this," but I don't. You know, it's weird doing it. It's weird, Brett, isn't it? When you know,
It's
until
it's in this sort of scenario.
Yeah.
You're not going to say.
Yeah, it's really like. Do you know what? Yeah. But not only that. When you've grown up in and around football, and you get asked to the most prestigious competition in English football, because you know Premier League's great, and the heritage is FA Cup. Always has been, always will be. Okay, no. I've been telling people all the time, mate. I mean, I can remember it. I remember it happening, and I was saying to our lads, stop it.
Yeah. We went down at pitch after, and obviously Man U were a bit. One of the lads who took the medals up, he were a Man U fan, so he's like, I mean, you know, and that was just like, putting it up, which I get. They're just being beat, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I get it to a certain extent. And
Do
then.
you think they selected you because they know that Leeds will never win?
Yeah, probably. No, so I got selected. I got selected because of my services to military football. Even at that short space of time, within the 7 years, obviously I was captain of the national team, captain at RAF. I'd won everything there was to win. We, like I say, with national team, we got to Holland, we got to France. We got French used to play like Marseille players because they have to do national service. You know, we were watching lads in Champions League. It's in March, whatever, playing for Marseille or February, March, and then playing against us in July. Like, hey, you playing for Marseille? You know, but they do national service. But yeah, like I say, I got selected. That's the only reason I got selected because you know, but it was so pertinent because it were 100 years at RAF. So again, it's another thing. Because normally it's RAF, Army, and Navy, and they'll split up and who does what.
But they did that because
it was RAF 100, yeah. But we went on pitch after, you know, and obviously Chelsea had players were brilliant, and Antonio Conte, the weirdest thing I've ever heard from a non-English person, you know. Come with us, come and say thank you for what you do for the country. Come with us. Wanted to take me on, you know, we went on podium and they were all celebrating. They were literally there. I've got photos on my phone, and it's like, wow, what's he doing? And FA guys going, don't go too close with them because obviously it's all on TV and the military, it's got a lot of thingy, but Conte's like, come with us, come out. I said, I've got my wife and that. And no, come with us. All the talking, you come and party with us. Even Lass and Lad were me, come with us. And like, I'm a new fan, you know, do everything. But Conte was brilliant. In his backroom staff were absolutely great with us. And then all players going to celebrate and they're going, don't you know, I can't go gaff or whatever, and he's just chatting to us and he's going, what a bloke. You know, and off he went. It might have been different if you had won, but maybe.
It might have been, but the fact that they had that time for you anyway, I know we've digressed, but I was really interested in that period of your time because it's all football oriented.
It is, yeah.
And I think what you've achieved while serving country is phenomenal. So I'll just put it out there now. I think you deserve a lot of credit for what you've done in terms of your commitment to cause, but also what you've experienced football-wise. And there's some stories there, mate, that will stick with you forever, I'm sure. And you know, and obviously your family as well, which is great. The non-league side of it, as we talked about it before we came on, it took a bit of an hit, didn't it? Because
it did. It took a massive hit. And to be fair, I was going to mention Taddy, but we went to Taddy under Paul Marshall. Just come back from Afghanistan, and he understood it. He got it. You know, 9 times out of 10, I'd be away midweek. They'd win. I'd still play Saturday. So it worked brilliant. I found brilliant, yeah. And I found the spot there. If that makes sense, I found it. Oh, wow, this is great. We had a great run in bars that year. You know, we had a great team. I mean, myself, Liam Ormsby, and Jonathan Green in the middle of it.
Jonathan Green.
Yeah, we played away at Anfield. John got hat-trick, perfect hat-trick. I remember him saying we got him dressing room and he wasn't big time, he's not. And,
loads of people have said that for that, what he's achieved.
He's not, and he just,
Yeah, yeah.
And like literally, what the fuck is this, Tom? I'm like, and we go out and we had like a time with people getting dressed up and singing on podiums, and they were weird as all. It was great. And yeah, I remember when he signed, right? When he first signed, he put him in, his brother Josh put him in group.
Yeah.
And he wrote, all right lads, and he had a Champions League winners medal, 99, Europa League runners up made with Fulham, and a winners with whoever it was, I forget what it was. We had 3 medals, like, fucking hell. All right lads, he put.
First thing you do.
Yeah. I remember we were playing, figuring away with someone away, but he lives out your way. And he messaged me, yeah, pick us up on way, Tom. Yeah, no problem. So, drives in, fucking sat nav, postcode or something. You ever reach our destination? I'm thinking, middle of nowhere, right? Pull this thing. The fucking roundabout in his garden, like, wild deer running all over. I swear to God, it was massive. I rang him, I said, John, what word do I got roundabout? He said, you cheeky bastard. It was just a little roundabout. Yeah, it was a great lad. Great lad.
Funny that, because like you were mentioning the story about Dean Saunders at Sheffield, weren't you?
Yeah.
And you were saying that didn't want Atlanta asking how long it took him to get to
Tracy.
Oh yeah, what did he reply? Dean
He
Saunders
said something like, how long does it take you to get to Tracy? He says 45 minutes. He says, yeah, it takes me about 6. He says 20 minutes on walk and then 25 minutes on drive.
I think if you've done been there and done it, and you, I love all that. I think like
Brilliant.
compared to it,
Brilliant.
You know, because we deserve not applaud. So how long were you at telly for them in Marshall?
2 years, and then he got sacked. Billy Miller come in. Billy Miller were army, and he never admitted it, but he only got to under 23s at army, managing and playing. And I think there were a bit of jealousy there, or a bit between army and RAF. He brought his boys in from railway. He wasn't a bad bloke, do you know what I mean? But it was weird. He was playing me right wing, and I've never been a winger. You know, putting me centre forward and that. I'm going. We're playing Paddy Miller out left wing, and you're like, what's going on here? You know, it was just like messing about, and then
You'd rather someone just
just be right,
Yeah.
And I pulled him one day. I said, I don't think you like us at RAF. And he went, oh, no, it's not that. And it was, and I just moved on from there. I went to Andover actually, which was great with Froggy and Wardy. Wellesley played up top, kid. We had me and Stevie Warren at middle. We had Cole Morrison right, Danny Buttle left. Simon Harrison were at back. We had Joe Green in there. Ozzy. Centre half from Sheffield. We had a right side. Connor Smythe left back.
Yeah.
We were centre half. Richard Adams centre half. We had a fucking great side. And I thought we're going to do keeper Joe Green.
Yeah.
I thought Big Joe Green, yeah. We were good then, like. I thought we're going to do him here. We're going to do Taddy. Fucking Taddy won't leave me finish third. Fuck's sake, something like that, yeah. But no, there were good times. A little story about Jono at Taddy. There's a lot, but it's one home game, and he says, I took my shirt off on that, and he goes, Tom, let me bust that spot on your back. So I had a big yellow head on my back, right? I couldn't see it. That was scruff. Let me bust it. I love busting spots. You know, John O'Green. I said, come on then. Come on then, mate. I've got one here as well. You know. Anyway.
He's got a medal in his pocket.
There you go.
So I imagine John O'Grady with 2 medals.
Honestly, it was brilliant night. So he's going, mate, are you ready? I said, yeah, mate. What? Hit him in eye. Swear to God. I swear, if you ever see him or come up and ask him, he'll tell the story. He said, I still tell the story to everyone. He went, so it's mad, but
straight in.
Hit him in eye. We're going to have to play. I'm like, John, Marshall, what the fuck have you done with him? I said, he must have spotted me back. Right? He goes out, I swear to God. Even 20 minutes in game, I was like, I fucking know. Filling his eye. Honestly, I'm like fucking chuckling, like. We tell the story all the time. But every time I see him, I message him. So like yellow on your back, fucking brilliant, mate. It must have been a big yellow. But you know, sometimes, what's that? Coming back?
You can't see it.
Yeah.
Right in
Fair play for him to help you out.
Fucking brilliant. Bang, hit him straight in the eye, honestly. Yeah, absolutely class. But he was great, like I said. But then, yeah, went to Handsworth and then floated about. I forget where I went after there. Oh, I ended up at Emily.
Yeah.
So at the end of 3.5
Rich,
years, I think,
yeah.
for Rich. When I
Yeah.
coaching staff with Rich, we had a great side, Pricey. Managed to bring
Nosy.
Pricey and Nosy in because I knew him, you know what I mean? And we got a really good side, and it was by default, and we got promoted. We missed out, it was before COVID. We'd missed out, trying to think, we were top of the league by country mile, I think. Oh no, we were second on like that. Near the season, 5 games left. It was something strange. It was March when it was COVID.
Yeah.
What did Livingston's that beat me to it all?
No, it was lower break because we were in that northwest, you know. But they could
I
have
think
afforded
they were
it.
in that, yeah.
Absolutely boxed it, like they couldn't get near them.
Yeah.
And we were flying, and then it got curtailed, and then it got squashed that season, and we went on next season, and we were about 11, 12 games in, but we'd won every single game.
Yeah.
And I think we were about at 9 points in front at that point.
Yeah.
Early doors as well, quarter of the season. And then that got curtailed for a while, if you remember, and then they were doing all sorts, and because of our points from last season, we got the promoters, and it
But then you came back into North East
went
Counties, didn't you?
straight to North East Counties. Yeah, but we had a really good side there. Emily's a great club, fantastic club. Richard's got it good there with, you know, the backing well.
Yeah.
It's all done right. The pitch is brilliant. They've done facilities right. A bit like what they're doing, trying to do here at Brickley, which is what we've been on about, is just slow steps. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know,
Just little bits that you introduce.
Yeah. You know,
And they have there.
Yeah.
I think if you like, if you just come back probably 3, 4, 5 seasons at Emily, the facilities have just gone through fucking roof.
Yeah. Even like stuff.
Scoreboard in corner.
Yeah. Yeah.
All that white fencing.
Yeah.
And it just looks
The part.
looks
Even
the
stuff like, you know, the dugouts.
Yeah,
The dugout.
yeah.
The
No, it's
dugout
true.
was brilliant.
Yeah,
You
it's
know what I
true.
mean?
They have. They've done wonders. And you're right. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Really good club.
Really good club.
And obviously.
Because we went to Bickley when we did Richard's episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're in manager's office, suite
Yeah.
thing, and just to have that as well as.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah. There's one here, but it's full of lads' numbers. I don't want him to get them. I'm trying to sign players. You know
I'll
what
take
I
up
mean?
for there's loads of fist marks in there and stuff like that. But,
Yeah.
yeah, so you had 3.5 years there, didn't you?
Yeah, and then it was weird because Rich brought in some staff, and I knew a couple of them as well. And I don't know if they were trying to phase those old ones out, myself, Knowles and Price here, but Rich was a mate of mine. Rich went on holiday, and I went on bench twice, and I said, like, he messaged me, sorry, saying, oh, it won't be us, but on bench. I didn't want to get into all that, so I won't say much, but I didn't want to get into all that, and I just thought, do you know what? It don't matter who it is, just give us an explanation. I asked staff, and they went, it's not us, it's Rich. And I'm like, well,
So
Yeah.
just be right. And
tennis match there, just battered.
it was weird because I wouldn't have left, because I've been there that long, and then Bowles rang me from Ferriby. I'm thinking, oh, same league, they're going to win league here. I went to Ferriby, and
So North East County side there,
yeah,
Surface.
Yeah, class.
yeah. I tell you, I missed out Scarborough. I went to Scarborough, wasn't
Yeah.
I? In fact, that were.
Which is strange, that, isn't it? Because you were at Scarborough and now you make spot squeezers manager there, isn't it?
Yeah, I just realised it. So I just brought. I think back then, before going to Ferriby, and that was before RAF as well.
What it?
Yeah, pre-11, I think. Scarborough was.
Well, just on the way back.
Oh no, Scarborough. Yeah, we're on the way back. It might have been just after. Might have been after Stockey actually. But great times there. I remember we went to Magaluf. You know, Den Ingram and that. We went to Magaluf end of season. We won league that year. Went to Magaluf, and we go to this bar in Den Ingram's. There were these bars, and it's all green, gang green in it. These flowers look like they've been there years. So he went to last behind bar. If I drink that, you can give the bottle for the lads. She says, I won't drink that. She went, yeah, I won't drink that. It's awful. He went, watch. All these flowers, green all the way around, is it? Right? Sucked a lot. The vase were massive. And I mean, it's like, give it sick. Anyway, we've got a bottle of vodka, but it was cheap shit, like 8 quid, you know. If that's 6 quid, right?
I just got visited.
Honestly, brilliant. And then, like,
How long did Scarborough for?
Rudy Funkwood Gaffer, yeah. You know, that one mental. 18 months at Scarborough. And then it happened a bit weird with Rudy because even though I've seen him now speak to him, a good bloke. He is a nice bloke, but he sort of like shot me with military and stuff. I had just joined, I think, actually. And he was like, oh, you're away, I need you.
What
That
were the
day,
away stuff with that?
we played away at Lincoln Moorlands, and his team told me, they're like, Tommy, I need you here every week. And I said, I can't do it. And Denny and Aki said to him, Rudy, he's told you, like, you can't do it. And I went, listen, if planes have to fly, I've got to be there with a bit of a laugh. And he just threw his board down on his book and he walked out. And then he went, right lads, this is how we're going to play today. And we won 12-0 or 14-0 at Lincoln Moorlands away. But yeah, then that's it, back to my lovely. Great, I roomed with Alex Davison, Pete Davison, you know, two Davison brothers.
Yeah, they were brilliant, weren't they?
Yeah, and Benno's, James Bennett, who's his assistant at Beverley. Benno.
Ginger Ale?
No, like Chubby's lad.
Oh, yeah.
Benno, yeah, good lad.
Yeah.
Great
Tom
footballer.
Bennett, I can't think of his name.
So we roomed the pot up bonkers once together. No one had roomed with us before, so it was like, who wants to room with them?
Together.
Paddy, my best man at my wedding, Paddy Miller, went, I'm at room with Tom. It was one of them, so yeah. So we were us four in. We were never had any room anyway, but we'd gone back to them probably early evening, you know, before you go back, shower up and that. Then I'd gone back for the cat nap. We took our KFC back and we'd eaten it, and I'm sat on bed eating this KFC and what's that? I said, come on, we need to go out. I just need something to eat. So I tell you what, I've got your KFC. It's like a box. I said, that's what are you doing? I went, right, in burger box. Okay, number 2 in burger box, whatever. Put it back inside it. Benno, come on now. You've got your burger, mate. Listen up, you get out. Last night or whatever. Oh, nice one. Cheers. Fucking spewed all over the place. I don't know how I'm going to box it, we still repeal, like, honestly. Pete and Alex were in hysterics, like, we couldn't go out, we were laughing that much. I went, lads, what's going on? He was sick. I think we got charged, he was sick everywhere, like, we ended up going out with
Yeah.
Cheers. Oh, nice.
Cheers,
Yeah.
Just took it in.
Honestly, that was brilliant. Yeah. But yeah, anyway, back to Ferriby and oh no, back to Magaluf, sorry. So, fucking hell, the lads getting pissed on that. Like, I won't really mention it, then England, like, I just say, piss on me then. You then? Who then? Because that, you'd be fucking pissy about that. You know, we're thinking, what's going on? We're into the bars here.
Yeah.
And there's people going, what are you lads doing? And then he's just like, Aki's pissing on him, and Aki's going, you have a go, Tommy. Honestly, it was mental, like, brilliant though. Well, that's how you win league, do you know what I mean? So,
that's 15 points. That's 15 points.
I'm not starting on our Benidorm trips, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I think you can. Yeah. And then obviously, yeah, so anyway, after Emily went to Ferriby, what a great club. Like, it's obviously Emily's a great club as well. Ferriby was brilliant. We won league with 14 points that year, but it were absolutely, like, everything.
I remember we went to our spot.
Yeah.
You know, they were like unplayable.
Yeah, honestly, it was such a great club. And,
what about the lad who went to Australia? Played it 10-0.
Forrester.
No.
Oh, Whiteley.
Yes.
Josh Whiteley, yeah. Travel with Josh Whiteley, yeah.
Josh
Worked
and
with
Danny.
yeah. I played, I think he came about with Tillor. Tom Corner there, yeah. Danny East, Lords, brilliant team. That's it, I know Tillor.
Yeah.
Well, when Marsha went to Pickering, obviously, after Taddy, I went to Pickering. Marsha ran me. I know it's far, but you'll know you'll play with me. So that's why I went. We won't league there as well, actually, Pickering. But I know he understood military, so it was easy, yeah. And that's why I moved as well. That's why you're moving a bit, but yeah.
You've got to have somebody in your in your situation where you've got to understand.
Is that what from Clear and that and stuff at Pickering?
Yeah. Good side. Good side. But yeah, that's it, going back to Ferriby, brilliant balls, once you pass ball, you just used to pass teams off the park. And
he was unplayable as well.
Yeah.
Himself,
yeah. Well,
and obviously, it was a good decision because you weren't playing as much at Emily.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
You got there and won't leave, didn't you?
They would beat Emily at league by 14 points. It was a bit of like
surreal.
Well, then Rich said, obviously, a few stories, but Rich said to me, not to be mates, how did you do it at Ferriby? Like, how they wanted to model how we did at Ferriby at Emily. Yeah. Because what Wolves would do is he'd say, we'd have, say, home to Frickley, for example, and he'd go, I'm going to leave you out, I'm going to leave Eastie out, and someone else. Because we've got Fackley away on Tuesday night, it's a bog, you know, for example. You know, middle of winter, there'll be a bit of a bog,
Tough game.
so we're going to throw you know, for example, that's how we do it, and it was, honestly, it was brilliant how we did it.
But you understood them changes
you get
based on what you had.
And obviously I was getting old, you know, 36 I think I was at the time, and I knew, you know, he was managing me, and he just managed players really well. And I took a lot with what Bowles and Robbo did, and obviously other managers into what I'm going to, you know, try to do here really. But no, it was brilliant. You know, Kit Man, you had everything you wanted. It was good. But yeah, we obviously won league there. We won league early doors. And I remember, in fact, it was Fackley away. It can't have been like choosing like that, but we played Fackley, and obviously I live in Leeds, so you got from past Leeds, got one. But we literally partied for 5 weeks solid, every Saturday for 5 weeks till the end of the season. But I stopped at Danny East. Danny East got a big house in Ferriby. Obviously, we were pro Portsmouth, Hull City, and that. Just crash at mine. We were like 8 lads there, you know what I mean? We just get absolute shit face. Go back to the club, everything was free, absolute shit face, you know what I mean? And when we lived at Trophy, we invited all families there, and they got what they want, and it was, honestly, they do it so well. Really good Ferriby. And the only reason I left in end were my little boy were at Man United. Teddy were only 8 at the time. And a lot of travelling for my missus, you know. And Bowles were actually there Tuesday, Thursday. Tuesday, no matter what. He's saying now it's getting harder to do that, you know, and speak to him, but. And I just couldn't commit, and it wasn't fair, and there were times where.
Especially when I did 3 times
yeah.
a week as well.
Yeah, I couldn't commit. And I was a bit gutted actually, and obviously my mates Brownie and Paddy and that, and Grandpa said, look, we'll take you here, we understand, and all that. So I went to Ossett, you know, from there, but I was gutted to leave Ferriby. I really loved it, you know what I mean? It's a club that, yeah, I enjoyed Emily, I loved Emily. There's a lot that being really good Whitby and all that.
If it were Tuesday, Saturday, do you reckon we'd stay? Where it was that extra one that will cause
yeah, probably so, probably so. And it was hard because you were so good, and all, like, we were so close.
To leave an unbelievable journey.
Yeah, but it was more like, if you didn't train, that were like the easiest to say, look, you're on bench. But lads got it because we were that close, they understood, do you know what I mean? And that's how it works. It was really, honestly, Bowles, it's got a great side together. But that's it, we had some good times there.
That's like you said, sometimes it's easy to over, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, because things are not working out, it's not what you expect, someone's not having you, which is part and parcel of football.
Of course it is, yeah.
But when you get that love for a group of lads and that changing room and people you're playing for, a club, I suppose.
100%, yeah.
And you don't want to go, but family commitments mean
definitely, yeah.
It's tough, mate,
it was weird, like I say, because I didn't actually want to leave Emily, so I was, you know, play coach with Rich. You know, that's it, 3.5 years there before. And it was a weird one, but it was a bit nice to go with the league, you know, one of them sort of like, not up yours because he's my good mate and that, but it was weird, it was just like wow, I fell on my feet for once here, you know. Normally I'd go away, I'd go to the club and we like Antwerp, we do Teddy in it. But no, that's it, I mean, we were in back at Ferriby. We go, we've been back,
How long have you been at Ossett for that?
Ossett we did a season just about, because we took it on with Brownie, didn't we? So Brownie went as manager with me and Paddy now around him, and I wanted to still play, which I still will now as well. I want a bit like silent ones, you know what I mean? And we had a meeting end of season, wanted to cut budget by 25%, but finishing top 10. We've just scared relegation, we've just absolutely struggled, you know. Again, we had lads on contract there, and we had a good side, we built a good side, I reckon we'd have done well the year after. To give Dave Wild it, but he were at games, and I questioned it, why is he at games? You know what I mean? Why?
Yeah, if you were something there all the time.
Yeah, and it ended up giving him it. It was weird. We knew what was going on, but no, yeah, and that, you know, so that was that. But like I say, going back to Ferriby, we were absolutely classy. We'd be naked in bar after games and stuff. Everyone would stay. All the lads would stay. There'd be not one lad that wouldn't stay, which you probably have heard.
We do. To an extent, I think especially, I think we would be very similar if it had been. If we ever get over that line and win a trophy, you know, it might be 2 or 3 days, like, you know, one of them ones, because there is like the closeness, you know. So
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what we like at Ferriby. There were a lot of lads from Hull, like probably 75%, 80% from Hull, and only for like myself, me and Amir travelled together. Josh Whiteley. we were all this way.
Yeah.
You know, I took all my senior year after, but it was weird. They were all from that same way, or till from York with Tom Corner, but
We just got on with it.
yeah. But it was weird that they had such a good team from all the same area. It was like,
which is rare.
I know it was rare, isn't it? We've all no respect to them.
No, it's true.
It's pretty rare.
Yeah,
But
it is.
it was really, honestly, it was really good. Like I said, we've done five weeks.
It's like you said, you used to pull him, coach Nicholas to Fennerby, and he used to like.
Big white house,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just walk in, see pictures of
Yeah.
I think it's one of them, if you are from home,
so you can get boxed in.
and something favourite coming for you, you're going to say yeah.
Of course you are, yeah.
Because of, and I think that's why they probably do well with attracting home players.
Yeah.
It's just,
People think they've got a massive budget, but they haven't.
No.
When balls ran me, I was thinking, I want to go back at Emily paid well.
Yeah.
And I'm like, can you take a piss, mate? I genuinely am. I will do it at Ferriby, so that I've see lads coming through, young lads, you'd be on like, say, just argument's sake, say it's 80 quid. Then you'd have your mid-end lads who've played, been about a couple of years, couple of clubs, whatever, middle-end maybe 100 and 110. Then you'd have like, you know, myself, Easty, Tillwell, or Tom Corner, been about years and experience, say on 40, whatever it was. Just argument's sake, money-wise, but that's how they do it, do you know what I mean? So they did it in like 3 years. So what they're saying is the young lads who are travelling out just getting 20, 30 quid, you know. And I think that's probably last year, a couple of years ago, where you'd probably be able to do that because you can't do it now with what money lads are earning. If you try to explain to a lad, I'm trying to explain to lads I'm ringing them now, look, I can give you X amount because, we'll go argument's sake, I want 150 and I'm like, well, I can't give you 150. I can give you 100 quid, for example, because I want to get the lads around you as well. But if I give you 150, then what can I get? Yeah, what can I get around? Do you know, for example, and you know more than me too, but it's like, and they aren't getting it. People are selfish these days, and I know it's all, some lads rely on the money, I get that, but
I think it's sometimes though a little bit more. I don't know if you agree, both of you, but in our day, it was more better when someone said we were playing at to say I'm playing there, and it used to be a really good club, we were doing well, we were successful, and you used to get a buzz off playing for that club.
yeah.
Now there's a buzz off saying I've won 160.
100%. That's what it is. And lads, I don't think lads actually want to win now. I think they're more bothered about.
I used to be a sports winner. I think used to get paid brilliantly.
Yeah.
130, I think, like something like that. But we got promoted, we beat Belton, we were in step 3, we were doing well in step 3, and then we started at Stocking. And then they used to say, I'm on 130 at Stocking, at Stockbridge, and we're doing well. And then you'd see someone else saying, my hands up, and it'd be 2 leagues below, and I'm doing 160.
That's what I think it's changed. I don't think lads are bothered about winning. But I think that's what you're not saying it big time, but you say it to say, look lads, you know, I've won this league 5 times. Like it can be done. I know it can be done. I've done it on little budgets, not big budgets. It can be done. Like just worry more about you know playing and wanting to win games, than thinking about
absolutely.
You know what? Can I get a bit more money? Can I do? You know what I mean?
my thing with it is 150. We'll say 80.
Yeah.
That 150 is alright if you play.
It is, yeah.
Well,
so that's 80 quid more.
To us it would be.
Yeah.
I'm not so sure that it is. I'm not so sure.
No,
I'm not so sure.
I mean, if somebody's promising 150, or I'm signing for that 150, you're not saying the pay's not here 80.
Yeah.
That 150 is alright if you play.
Yeah.
If you're not playing,
What I'm saying now, I think a lot. Yeah, but I think people are happy to be in squads. I genuinely feel like lads are happy to go. I'm in 16 and getting 150. Whereas back, and I'm talking back to when we were coming up through ranks, you'd have left 150 to go for 80 to
100%. I was telling you before we started, there were a lad I spoke to last season, and they were £300 contracts, league above. I spoke to the manager, he said, yeah, I don't want to play for me. I went, no problem. So I said, well, he come up to me, he says, well, he's not going to play, so he's got no choice, you know, come on loan. So right, no worries. So I thought, we'll give you 78 quid. How will that work? I snapped my hand off at that because it's money for now. So I spoke to the lad and he's like, no, I just want to try and fight my place. Yes, I said, mate, I spoke to the manager. And I should be talking that and saying, well, you're not going to play.
Yeah.
And if you don't know you're not going to play already, 19 years old, I think he is. You're just going to play games. Play 5 or 10 here. You know, you might go back in, you might go, oh, he's fit, he's been doing well, Tom's son, he's doing well, he's sharp. You might get back in, he won't bothered. On 300 quid contracts, all he's bothered about is. And I spoke to the manager, he said, I've told him, he said, but all he's bothered about is saying he plays for Bradford Park Avenue. Leave it away then, but yeah, and you know, you're going, what is going on here? You know what?
And I know that's spoke of Caroline saying, because you're on contract, not in squad, but still have to go.
Yeah.
Newcastle 5-6 times.
You know, but for me, I'd be, you know, you're going, oh, I play for so-and-so, like, I'd be able to pub don't even fucking know anyway. Do you know what I mean?
No, and a lot of time, what gets you plaudits and headlines when someone sees you doing well?
100%.
Isn't it? It's not someone seeing you earning 120 quid, it's someone seeing,
We're not,
you know, he's doing well at Frickley or he's doing well at Penistone or...
you know what's interesting, Brad? I've been thinking, I actually thought about this lad the other day and I thought, I want to have a look, see if he's gone anywhere because no one will know about him because he hasn't been playing.
No,
Got no minutes.
So he'll probably go from 300 to half a year, 1,800 quid or something somewhere because they don't, still got a bit of a background, a bit of a pedigree, but he hasn't played, so it's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it is crazy, mate.
It's weird, isn't it? Football's like totally gone, you know. And for worse, I think, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've got a quick little story for Federer, which you'll laugh about. He goes to Benidorm, and again, that were interesting. I was just sat pissing myself because I won't go to the toilet without piss. Brilliant, and lad, you know, all that good stuff as you do. And anyway, last night, so I'm rooming with me and Easty were in a room, and Tillo and Kirky's mad at box of frogs. Tillo skipper, we're in the same apartment. Two different rooms, you know, same four-man room.
Okay.
So getting showered last night, and you know what I'm like for taking piss. I've always been known as egg. I'll have to grow up a bit now being a manager. You know what I mean? It's hard because you try to get the dressing room going, but you can't. You try to be not listen to yourself professionally. I'm manager that need to know a limit or the levels and stuff. But anyway, I get out of the shower. And all three of them stood looking at me like they'd been on a session for no sleep for 5 days and all that. And I went, glad someone dancing, what's up? They went, what's that? Fucking smell burning. So I went, I'm really sorry. He went, don't start swinging. I went, what's up? I went, I'm really sorry. I thought, what the fuck's going on here? And he's just gone, walked into the room. Kirky's just like, as I walked past the microwave, I looked at the microwave, the door open, opened it, the fucking passport. Tillo put my passport in the microwave, didn't think it'd burn, it's got a metal fucking chip in it, didn't think it'd burn. In for like 10 seconds, fucking I opened it, there was the big burn mark all the way through. I thought, oh no. So Lee's like, fucking, we're going, he's coming out, I said, fuck it, I'll be out soon. Thinking, I'm going to get home here.
Half foot.
Fucking hell. Leather. This is like 8 o'clock at night and we're leaving at 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning. Yeah. Fucking hell, anyway, we go to the airport.
This is not so holiday, she.
I didn't tell before. Oh no, I did actually.
What it is?
Yeah. Tillo's then going, actually, we might get another few days out here, me and you. I'll stay away because I've burnt it. So you were like a bit, trying to make it a laugh. I said, mate, we need to get back. I was in our effort time. Yeah, I was in our effort time. And so we goes out, gets some piss, and we gets to the airport, Alicante airport, and we just straight through. Fucking hell, we've made it. Everyone's like, great. Gets back to Leeds Bradford. Lads have gone through.
Manual one, not.
Yeah, manual,
Yeah.
water force and all that. And he just looked at me. Like, mate. Looked over this woman, come over, calls woman over, manager. Disgust. Like, looked in disgust. Do you think this is acceptable? The government, you know, whatever, blah blah blah, still dead. Thinking, oh no, it's just nothing. I'm thinking, how do I get out of this? She's like, this is not acceptable. like, we can't let you through with this. I'm on home soil. The finishing line. Yeah, it's I can smell it on the team. Come on, I'm thinking. Okay.
And all you want to do is get over it.
Yeah, and all lads stood there going, John's going, no. I said, I'm really sorry. I said, look, put my ID out my RFID in my wallet. I said, look, serve Queen and Country. I'll get a slap on the wrist tomorrow. And they'll sort it all out with the Home Office or whatever it is and all that good stuff. Like, she just went, don't make it happen again. Let me through. I thought, stayed there. Honestly, I just don't know how it come.
I bet till a little more. He's off.
Yeah.
He's in there showing.
Welcome, I think I was saying.
Keep passports on 3 minutes defrost. Honestly, the only thing I said, that's funny you saying it, I've done the same with Jono's.
Yeah.
But it was phone. So I took Jono's phone in a couple of years ago. He'll probably watch this and he'll probably say, yeah, he did. I chucked his phone in. Just did it a quick, like I said, quick 10 seconds. Forgot about it. He ding. Jono's forget his back. Oh, I've got something in microwave. I don't know, so I've never had cancer on set when he's there fucking biscuits. He never thought no one about it. He goes out, comes back in. Lost my fucking phone. I says, yeah. He says, I must have been. I says, I fucking looked all over that bedroom and stuff. I must have fucking took the house. I said, you have mates? It's in microwave. Well, John was an hard master and he went fucking scared. I thought just tense up, it might not hurt as much. Fucking bar just passed me. Was it been? Fucking you're lucky it's fucking working. Like fuck for that, it's really fucking goes up with us party and that, goes back from Benidorm, flies home. Fucking 3 days later. Fucking John. Hey, Bingen, this is me ringing you off my new fucking phone. So 2 days after he got back, boom. I had to ring up and get a new one like on contract. He's never let me forget about it.
How good is that?
Yeah, so. There were one other club you got mentioned. You had a little stint at Allen.
Yeah.
Didn't you?
Yeah. Sorry, just before here then, I was going to mention this, yeah. Dent, yeah. Alan, yeah. Great club, obviously.
I know quite a few people who support them were watching because I work in City and stuff, and they speak fondly of your time there, like.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, we're a weird one because Dent's just trying me for, he'll get in probably listen and say, yeah, you've done it 3 or 4 years.
We've actually been on this week.
Yeah.
Tell him he's a come from me. I'm making it. Yeah, he's a come from me. You know, he's sound Dent, he's a good bloke. He gets a lot of hammer off people who don't actually know him.
Yeah.
You know, saying, he's got money, he's this, he's that, he's on Twitter, he's this. But you know what? He actually do all for you. He's a really nice bloke. You know, a couple of seasons he'd ring me and, yeah, I'll ring you next week and that. And I'm thinking, we haven't rang back in. Lads are ringing me saying, you going to Ireland? I'm like, we haven't rang back, I don't know. You know, and then obviously this season he obviously followed through, he got himself south with quite a few in, and yeah, good club, good place. Doing it right, and like I say, obviously we're coming now to Frickle, which we'll have a quick chat about. It were hard, it was tough, to leave there because I was playing.
And he's had a similar route to his workshop.
Yeah.
We Alan had to, because at one point Alan looked, he wouldn't have said the word, would you? Even through playoffs, you probably wouldn't have said the word finishing top 5.
Again, it's a weird bit because obviously you just know yourself, it's not the greatest of football, it's just effective football what we play. Yeah. We did try and they said, right, we'll get down and play. Thought great, and then next thing you just going boom, you're going fuck, but then you're winning games, so you're not really bothered. Yeah. And you know what, we're always going to take off. You could see there were a lot of shaky results up to Christmas, and it didn't have a settled squad, if that made sense. It were like, trying to bring lads in to, see if that helped out, and it didn't. No disrespect to lads or anyone in particular, it's just football, isn't it? And I felt for him because it was really affecting him. You could see it, or a lot of pressure on him. I think everyone said they're going to piss league and this and other. It was weird, and then it were always going to take off, and it did. And good luck to him and fair play to him. It were, over the course of the season, they've deserved it, and you don't look unless you deserve it.
Well, it'll be a tough league for him next year. I think even if they have a little bit more money to recruit, I still think that next level there's a lot of travel here. Some lads they are not used to it, and some lads might not want it anymore as well. So,
in fairness to Dempsey, he sort of helped me when I spoke to him about this, and he didn't want me to leave. He made it clear I don't want you to leave, but I get why. And I was saying, look, it's a great opportunity. I'm going to do it. Eventually, this is a great opportunity, massive club here. You know what I mean? And then going on to Frickley, you know, obviously great for him to give me an opportunity. They're quite renowned for the last few years. Obviously after Benno, they're quite renowned. Obviously Pat McGuire a go. You know, a friend of mine from Bradford. Obviously give backs a go. Last manager, and then myself. And you know, it's probably the toughest, best job you can come into, because looking at it facility-wise and where they've been to Club League. You know, you can just see facilities here. And there's a 4G all its council. There's everything that they have here. But the hard thing is now I've always known it as well, and you know, you both as yourself is Frickley away. You go, fuck's sake, Miami's hurting. You know what I mean? You've got you've got Frickley hamstring because you used to come and fans were on you, and but now football's evolved and it can't be that way. You want to make your own play supporters, everyone does supporters, but you can't, and you know, it's.
What I will say about the people that have been playing here, the people, if you do start doing all right,
100%, and we know that, we know, and that's,
give it that edge as well, I think.
Yeah. Do you know the good thing is the people behind the scenes, they just leave it to it.
Yeah.
Tom, that's your budget, let us make it, you know, that's that. What do you require now? Right. There is a lot of teaming issues, which there is at every club, but you've got to remember this club have dropped, and they're just trying to
find a way.
They're very sustainable. So I'm going, anymore. Very sustainable. Whatever the budget's at, bam, it's sustainable. So I know if I'm saying to you, you're putting on 80 quid, whatever, you're getting that no matter what.
Yeah.
If
16th,
if we're 20th come 37 games in the season, you're still getting that because they'll won't cut it. They've told me that's sustainable. Yeah. That's as simple as that. Which is very good. You know what I mean? But do you know that they've got a plan? The Frickley's got a plan. You know, they've openly said, and there's no pressure on you, Tom. You know, we know what you're all about. We know you're hungry. We know you're passionate. You want to be successful. You want to be ambitious, and we know that. And I do. I want to win stuff as a player, and I still play this year. I still want to play. But no, it's maybe left. I think I can tuck in this year. I'm a bit sharp, but like I say, you know, they took a bit of a gamble. Obviously, it's always a gamble with no matter who you are or what you've won as a player. It's totally different being a manager. Yeah. And you know, I have had people go, you'll know when it's a manager, it's this and that. But you know, some of the stuff we've seen and had last year. I mean, my number two, Crooks, you know, he speaks for himself. He sort of come out of football, wasn't really fussed, but you know, I was his good boy at Bradford. You know, when I was YT, and we've always kept close. His families are close and that, and you know, he just said, "I'm only doing it because of you. I'm not going anywhere else. I'm doing it because of you. So wherever you go, whatever you do, I'll go with you." That's as simple as that. And you know, to have him
when you've got that trust.
Yeah, and to have him, honestly, he's different gear. Like he's just so in depth and so. I mean, I love all that. You know, I'm into all. Not stats as such, but you know, like, you know, the VOs and
analysis and
stuff like that. You know, I brought someone in. I think it's a waiting goal. You know, we might be shit next year, but I brought someone in to do all that analyst stuff for us. You know, because I just think it's vital. And people will go, "Fucking, I'm doing that at step 5," but start your meeting on. If you don't want to manage hire or do some hiring,
I think it's a great, and I think you'll be in a similar boat to us, Tom, where you might have to start lads on the journey in football as well. And I think that the VO stuff, the annual analysis that you can provide to them young lads is worth its weight in gold. You know, because a lot of time footballers go, where am I for? I'm saying anything. I'll just clip him, private message him, and just say, "Look, this is what I'm saying." You know, and I think people benefit from that. And you have respect for that, and you know, it's.
But on the flip side of that, you know, we were on about it earlier, you haven't got the luxury of massive budget, so being able to go sign who you want, and that's what I'm enjoying. I'm really like. It was funny when I took job, I literally must have had 10, 15 messages saying, "You're going to strip back the team, aren't you?" First chat I had with lads, and we got any questions, and said, "Yeah, when are we leaving?" or something like that. When they thought we were stripped, and I knew the first couple of weeks we were nervous because. And I said to Joe, who was captain, I said, "Joe, what's like?" It was Valley at the time, but I knew Joe's like, "What's crap with lads?" And he went, I think you're just going to be waiting to get shot of them. I said, "Well, no, we're going to get a chance, And I knew with resources and stuff, and you've got to do that. But I'm really enjoying it. I mean,
it's hard work, and we're rewarded at the same time, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, one week we were on about before, Tuesday to Saturday, I had a lad come off a motorbike. The lad cut his finger off. A lad's missus went into labour on Friday night, and then on Saturday I had a message, not a phone call, a message, 11:58, 3 hours before kick-off, saying, "I can't make it today." You're like, fucking cheers. And then you go get Dick 3-0, you're like, what is this? You know what I mean?
Yeah, a lot of people from outside looking in there, they don't see that side of it. They just see results, and it's hard work. They don't, because you do get back downs, don't you?
We've said that it's a different era. We're away in season.
Yeah.
I mean, we're lucky in that respect. We've got a good reserve side that we can pull on, which is great. A 21 side that do well, like you have down here. The 21s are the good lads, aren't they? Good side.
Good lads.
And we had one last year that they were sending on the stag do because they're all mates outside. We went to Bottisford and we took 6 reserve lads with us and we gave them an opportunity, and they were excellent. There was all one apiece.
Yeah.
We weren't going up at that point, and it was a really positive result. But I was driving back from that and I felt such satisfaction from that we took 6 lads from reserves at 21s and they'd done excellent. And,
100%.
And just give them that opportunity, and not give them all 30 quid or whatever it is, and it were happy days. But
the club are big on trying to get local lads in, and that's what we've done back end of the season with younger lads and stuff. And I am trying to push to get some local lads. Again, you're losing out to some local teams, around about giving 150s out, like step 7, 8, or whatever it is, and like, wow, what's going on? But like I say, with this club, I'm just fortunate that I think it's probably the best job I could have gone into because it's a real big fish. This club, it can be obviously a bit like Bradford City, with regards to the massive club. There should be a championship move, but they've dropped down and they're at that stage, and they've always been umming and ahhing. Now we're up Bradford, you know what I mean? Yeah. I just hope, it's football and we're not sure, but I just hope I can get this club going. It's going to be tough. Like I say, we know there's loads of good budgets. I hate to mention that word budget, but we do know there's a lot. And
it's true, though, it is. Yeah. We can't get away from it. I mean, when I spoke to you at last game of last season, when I spoke to you, I said to obviously lads at Penistone, I said, "He'll get him going." Yeah. I just felt like that you were happy that season had gone, so you had a good pre-season with your lads, and get them firing on cylinders. I never thought for a second that you wouldn't stick around and be committed to what you'd agreed to do.
Definitely. So, I've been transparent with the club, and we had a fans forum here a couple of weeks ago, which was well attended. Surprisingly for how bad we did last year. I didn't know if people liked me because we're straight open and out, and some people don't like that. But I mentioned it then. I got approached in summer by another club with a better budget to ask why I put my CV in. Would I put it in, and would I go for an interview? Basically, not offering me a job, but you're not far off if you're getting a call off them. And it was like, it's not. That's easy. That's the easy option out. Do you know what I mean? Whereas I'm not like that. I want a proper challenge, and it was challenging last year, and it is going to be a challenge this year. But you know what?
It needs to show the commitment to you.
Yeah.
I'm going to show something to them, and we'll get this good.
That's it. Good stuff.
100%, and that's good. That's what I'm trying to get with players. I'm wanting players to come on and ringing them, and like I said, we'll just take 100 and 150 for an example. But I'm going, look, they were on 150. I can give you 100. You have doing it for extra 50 quid a week, or you come in to play football. You've not burned to me. I've got Crooks here who will help you out in midfield as well, for example, and we're going to do this. we're going to train once a week, we're going to do VO stuff, we're going to have bite to eat in here, we're going to make it a proper professional environment, what probably, not in a bad way, but Frickley probably haven't been, or people's known. So the hardest bit is breaking that barrier to say, Frickley's now a place, look out here, look, the volunteers out there. I'm trying not to see it tonight, but they come every couple of hours and change water and stuff, and you know, they've been up here for the last couple of weeks doing up the, you know, the ground, doing little improvements, you know, and I'm trying to tell them it's not the club what it used to be, where you used to go, get your help with some lads, because we're going into a fight, do you know what I mean?
And there's good, we always done as captain, but all volunteers behind all clubs.
Oh,
yeah. What it's all about, time.
Do you know, I look at Penistone, I know we're probably going on here, but I look at Penistone and what a club they are, you know, I said to Crooksy, when we're going, he knows it Crooksy when he went at Barnsley, he lived not far from Penistone, but I said, this is a club what I want us to put Frickley like. Whether we're successful with Frickley or not, I want to create that barrier and make it a club where people want to come and play. That for me is a win. You know,
and we'll start with Frickley,
yeah. A win for me is at the minimum that, you know, and I want, you know, like you've got a squad. The teams I haven't league with, we spoke about it, it's 15 points a season, where you're all close knit. Yeah. Not against the lads I had last season, not against the really, really good lads. Yeah. But they were all mates, but it wasn't a dressing room. No. You know what I mean? I tried explaining to them about stuff, and you know, I couldn't really have a go. The best dressing room you can go and have a go, and management, you know, really quickly. At Ferriby, we'd won league, we won 3-1. Well, after we'd won league, and lads are arguing it, dressing rooms we conceded. You're like, we won league, lads, but that's how it was, you know. But that's because we're all close knit, and that's what I'm saying. That lads, you know, people accountable. And you know, weirdly, none of us like losing, but if you do get beat, like Penistone, if you get beat, lads have off games, and I said, I don't mind you playing shit, we're at this level for a reason, but do as we ask you to do, and then it's on my head. Yeah. When you're going out being shit, not doing what I've asked you to do, it's you, unfortunately. Yeah. These days, lads don't get it, that you know,
no. And you might text one like a girl to show them, look, this is why we've set you up this week.
Yeah.
Well, that's the mentality of those is that, you know, we will have difficult times, we'll have difficult results, we will have arguments, but it stays in that fucking change.
Yeah.
That's non-negotiable.
Yeah.
We don't talk about it when we come out of the dressing room. Nobody goes off and fucking sucks because we've had a ball, and we all go in, we all sit together, beer, we clean bloody glasses together at end at night, we high five, and we go again. Yeah. And that's football.
That's it, yeah.
And, you know, it's sometimes and Claisse is right. Sometimes you do want a bit of digging out in the changing room because it will spark something. Yeah. Sometimes that's good at half time because then you go on in the second half and you put a performance and you end up getting a result. And we've all been in dressing rooms where that's happened.
100%.
And it's been healthy. It's not been unhealthy. It's been healthy.
Yeah.
I don't think it's all probably a Tuesday night training session was good on London.
Yeah.
We've all been doing as well.
It's right though. It shows you care, doesn't it? You know what I mean? That's a couple of times, again, not against lads last year, they're a great bunch of lads, and do you know what? The ones that aren't staying, I've helped them get clubs, and they're set now for next season. And I said, nothing's personal in football. Nothing is personal. It's, look, we've all got opinions, we're all managers, we've all got a job to do, and, you know, I could build a team now, and I think, oh, it looks alright, and I could finish worse off than I did last season, but at the end of the day, that's football for you, innit? And
it is, mate.
You know, it's tough. It is tough, and like I haven't stopped being a manager since I've been a manager. Stopped. You know, the downfall, little downfall is, but I take that on me because I would Crooksy. You don't know people normally, which is fine. So I'm on my own, good signing players, and I've got mates all that, but I'm on my own to do it. You know, to do all that because it's not like Crooksy don't want it. But he's fucking brilliant. He does everything. You know, other than that, but it's hard, you know, it's a tough gig, isn't it?
Yeah, dangling messages.
Yeah.
Even if you don't stop. It's definitely the busiest time, isn't it?
100%, yeah. But like I said, this club's brilliant, mate. Yeah. You know, like I say, I've always said to them, even if I don't be successful here, I'll always appreciate them giving me a go.
You were mentioning about your first club that you played for.
Well, yeah.
I remember your first club you managed.
I remember this year. Like I said, we've delved in it with Rich Tracy at Emily. I delved in it a lot last year with Brownie. Obviously, we were closer last year, season before, sorry. at Ossett. But this is probably my first real rodeo, do you know what I mean? And we start like going away from your mates and stuff, not always a crux of my mate, but yeah, look, it's football and we all
You're
want to
not
do
that
it.
type of person though, to do it half-hearted today.
No, and that's the thing. I think that's what.
I think if you're not successful, and I hope you are, but not in 2 games next year. But if you are, excellent. If you're not, it'll not be for one to try.
No, and I know, like I said to Clubby, if I don't be successful here, listen, that's football, but I want to be changing some stuff. I like to go on about people perception of Frickley now is different.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, it's a nice place to come. Let me look at this. It's a lovely place to come. Do you know what I mean? You just come there, you go in, understand, and go, fucking hell, what is this like? Lads at warm up, I've never seen male lads go down at warm up when you come in. And you fuck that, do you know what I mean? It's right, isn't it?
We used to come out and warm up at Frickley and say, we have to go back in changing rooms.
Yeah.
Because you have to walk down cage, there'll be someone giving you.
But it was warming out here, didn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely, it's that bad. It used to be that bad. Yeah, after the way physios go down with that hamstring. I'm not going up for that.
Listen, mate.
No, yeah,
it's class out. Spot on, like I said.
I appreciate it, lads.
Good luck next year, but like I said, not in 2 games, mate. But if I lose to you, then I'm just best to
Well, thank you very much. Talk to you. Cheers, thank you.